our subtraction of real numbers practice set. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you find this video and the explanations of the problems helpful. So pause the video to work these problems, then come back to check your work. These first 5 problems are asking you to find the difference, and I'm going to underline that because when you see the words find the difference, that does mean that it is a subtraction problem. And that's important to note because not every problem that has that says find the difference is necessarily going to have this nice subtraction symbol right in the middle of it. So it might seem a little obvious in this problem set that it's subtraction because there's a big minus sign there, but that is not always the case. So you might be asked to find the difference, and then you would need to be the one to know to put the minus sign in there. Now, for these problems, I do want to emphasize the idea that subtraction means to add the opposite. And so I'm going to be rewriting all of these subtractions over as adding the opposite. And for most of them, I am going to be engaging that number line to reinforce the mental model that of how the combining of the numbers works. So we have 3 minus 7. So again, this is adding the opposite. So we change the subtraction to an addition, and then we ask ourselves, what is the opposite of 7? Well, the opposite of 7 is negative 7. And what that does is it changes it into an addition problem, which will engage properties like commutativity and allow us to model this on the number line. So we're starting at 3 and we're going to move 7 units left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we want to know where is that. And so you can count down in your head or you can sketch it out. And we can see that we would end at negative 4. Second problem. Again, this is about the model and the definition, because by the time you're taking algebra, I think everybody knows that 6 minus 3 is 3. So this is not necessarily about getting the right answer, but about understanding the concept of what subtraction is. So 6 minus 3 could be rewritten as 6 plus negative 3. And then we can model that. We start at 6. We're going to go 3 to the left. 1, 2, 3. And lo and behold, there we are at the 3. Again, I know you already knew that, and that was about practicing the model. For the next one, we have negative 2 minus 4. And so subtraction means to add the opposite. So this becomes negative 2 plus negative 4. And right there, that little rewrite can help avoid a lot of mistakes. I know a lot of my students, if you were to ask them like negative 2 minus 4, they would go in the wrong direction on the number line. And they would just go in the wrong direction on the number line. But if I asked them negative 2 plus negative 4, most everybody would get that right on the first try. So there is something about that rewrite. We're starting at negative 2, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left because it is a negative 4. And so we're going to see where does that land us. So we started here and we went 1, 2, 3, 4, and we do end at the negative 6. Number 4, 10 minus negative 3. So this time we're actually subtracting a negative. And you will sometimes see that written like this, okay? So where the negative on the 3 is written like a little bit smaller and a little bit higher up. A lot of times you'll see the negative in parentheses, and that is simply to offset the number so that you don't end up with something like this where you have 10 minus negative 3, and then now it kind of looks like one gigantic subtraction sign. We're not maybe sure what's going on there. So again, it's adding the opposite. So this subtraction is we're adding, and then we look closely at the thing that we're subtracting. We're subtracting a negative 3. And so the opposite of negative 3 would be positive 3, which means that this becomes 10 plus 3. And so we'd start at the 10, and this time we're moving to the right. 1, 2, 3, which of course puts us at 13. And last but not least, so this is where using the number line might start to break down. We have -15 minus -11. So our first is to rewrite the subtraction as addition. So adding of the opposite of -11 is +11. Now, this is where the numbers on the number line maybe get a little bit too much. But the idea is we're going to start down here at -15 and we're going to move to the right 11 units. Where would that put us on the number line? And you might be able to think of some other ways to do it. Your intuition, if you've got a good sense of the number line, might tell you where on the number line you're going to land. You are going to land at -4. So the number line is something that's very useful to do. And again, I can't emphasize enough how important it is for you to have that mental model of what we're doing when we're adding and subtracting our positive and negative numbers. However, if you were dealing with decimals, if you were dealing with numbers in the tens of thousands, obviously the model, like you're not going to sketch it out, but the mental model that you're using should still work. Okay, and these last two problems here are just to evaluate, but they're like longer problems, so you got more stuff in there. So we have 3 minus -5 plus 8. And we're going to rewrite that subtraction in the middle as adding the opposite. The opposite of -5 is 5. And now that's just adding. So you could throw this on the number line, but we don't need to. 3 plus 5 is 8, and 8 plus 8 is 16. Now, this next one might be useful to bust out the number line with. So we have 11 minus 7 minus 6 plus 2. And we'll go take all those subtractions and do that rewrite. So that is adding the opposite. So that's adding -7, and then adding a -6, and then, of course, adding a 2. So let's go start over here at the 11, and we're going to move 7 to the left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So where does that put us? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. So we're sitting at the 4. Now from there, we're going to move 6 more to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 0, -1, and -2. So now we're sitting down here at the -2. So we moved 7 to the left, then we moved 6 to the left, and now we've got +2, which means we're going to move right 2. So 1, 2, which is going to land us at the 0. And the final answer is 0. And again, notice that like moving around, moving left and right, and you can do this an infinite number of times. So as always, please like and subscribe if you found this video helpful, and drop me a comment. Let me know if you have questions about the problems that we did, or if there's a video that you would like to see that I haven't made or posted yet. See you next time.